Hi, guys, and welcome to Keep Hope Alive. We've actually passed, I'm going to share this good news first, our 100th episode on Keep Hope Alive. I'm so excited. We started back in April, and I'm just thankful to everybody who listens to this show. We are hitting season 11, so exciting stuff. There's more good stuff coming along the way too. So hold on to your horses, as my mom used to say. We're going to bring more stuff. And I hope it wasn't too country saying horses, right? But today we do have a special guest. Her name is Gabrielle
Hi.
Foote. I hope I said that right, Foote. And she is the CEO of Survivors Empowered Inc. So she'll be sharing her story, but please know this could be a trigger warning. So that means you may not want to listen, okay? Or have your tissues. This is going to be a sensitive topic, okay, guys? So we understand. And I just thank you for coming on the show to share what you're going to share. So, but
Thanks for
let's
having me.
dive in. But before that, really quick, I'm going to ask you on a happy note. How many weddings have you attended, let's say in the last 20 years?
Last 20 years. Goodness. Probably I'd say about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay, perfect. So usually when guests are starting to enter that ceremony site, what
hmm
is it that they have to sign?
That's the guest book.
Yay! Okay, perfect. So Life on Record is one of our biggest sponsors here at Keep Hope Alive, and their website is lifeonrecord.com. But instead of having a guest book, they give a vintage rotary phone to put there. So your guests can come in, pick up the phone, say, "Congratulations on your wedding. We're so happy for you." Or you may get that person, "It's about time you put a ring on her finger and make her an honest woman." I hear it all. So, but when your guests come up, they can pick the phone up and leave a message for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, however long. But they do provide a QR code right next to it. So you can take out the mobile phone, scan that, and leave the message also on your cell phone, either before or after that wedding ceremony. So what happens? They collect the voices from your friends, your family, and you get to hear all those congratulations and everything. And they'll take those messages, they'll either burn it on a 12-inch vinyl record or they will put it on a keepsake speaker. And I call it the little boom box. So that's my little tagline with it. So, and then, you'll get this phone number for 1 year. And I tell everybody, if you're getting a phone number for 1 year, maybe like 2 months before that 1 year anniversary, call that number back, leave them another message and say, "Happy anniversary." And then, they'll get that on there too as well. So you can find these rates are amazing. They're only $99. So you get the phone number for a year.
Wow.
It's only $99. You don't get to keep the phone, but you get to keep the toll-free phone number, which is amazing. So to find out more details about Life on Record, please visit www.lifeonrecord.com. So let's get
Sounds amazing.
started. Gabrielle, who are you?
Um, no, I'm a normal person. I grew up in the Midwest in Minnesota till I was 20. Then I moved to Alaska. I met the best people there. I met my husband, my sister-in-law. Um, my friend who ended up being my maid of honor. I mean, they're both on my board. They're just fantastic people. Um, and my husband and I, we were just dating at the time, moved to Arizona, um, and we ended up having two beautiful girls. They're hilarious and adorable and just the light of our lives. So, um,
Oh.
yeah. Uh,
That's awesome. I mean, Alaska too. I was like, wow, she got to probably see the northern lights and everything. But I also
well,
think how
I
cold.
did not. Um, so I prioritize sleep over the northern lights, which people make fun of me for. So, yeah, but I hear they're beautiful.
Yeah, but definitely. Yeah, I was like, I see those on Facebook. They're
Mhm.
like a little igloo glass one that you can sloop out there at
Oh,
night.
yeah. Mhm.
And I was like, dude, but is it cold or did they keep it warm inside? What did they, because it looks cold to me, but if I ever went there, I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to try it out. So, but what brings you like here today? We're going to be talking about probably something really, really hard. Can you tell us about what got you to where that was and what learning lessons came with it and everything?
Yeah, so, uh, about little over 2 years ago, it's about 2.5 years ago, I do have epilepsy, and it's controlled through medication, which is wonderful, I'm very grateful for that. Um, but there was an incident that happened, where I appeared unconscious, but I was fully aware. I just couldn't open my eyes or move or speak. And so my husband took me to the hospital, to make sure I wasn't having a seizure, see what was going on. And when I got to the hospital, since I couldn't tell them that I didn't aspirate and I have epilepsy, they were very concerned that that happened. And so, so I went and got an X-ray to, verify that I was all right. And while having my X-ray, my technician sexually assaulted me, and I reported it to the hospital, um, and they, said they were going to take care of everything, and I trusted them. But they didn't do a forensic examination,
Hmm.
and ultimately they didn't end up calling the police. My husband and I did the next day because we just, we felt like we needed to do something.
Hmm.
And uh, yeah, so it ended up becoming a he said, she said situation, because there wasn't that evidence. And of course he denied he did it. Um, so after that, and he was a medical provider, so I was nervous that he had my location, and the hospital wouldn't tell me. They said they had to protect his employee right, which, is ironic to me. And so I didn't know if he had my address. And so I was just pretty scared and then dealing with the trauma of being assaulted.
Hmm.
So it was recommended that I go to an intensive outpatient program. And I ended up finding the Meadows Behavioral Health Program. They're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they're just phenomenal. I mean, I would not be where I am without them. Um, they just go above and beyond. I was very scared of people, to be honest. Since I couldn't open my eyes, I didn't know what he looked like, and the hospital wouldn't, give me a picture because again, he liked to for his privacy. So I was pretty much nervous about everybody or scared about everybody, and I really loved their art room. It's one of the programs they have is art therapy,
Hmm.
which I recommend to everybody that has any sort of, I don't trauma or anything. It's amazing.
Trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Um, and so I liked to be in there during my free time. And if someone was going to come into the room and I was by myself, the front desk would come down and tell me if someone's coming. I just want to let you know there's a camera. We can see you. We can't hear you, but we're going to be watching, and so you can feel safe. And they just always helped me
Mm.
feel safe.
Good.
And um and so I mean, that's something you need. They always validated me. And since it was a he said, she said situation, you don't get that validation. And that can be I mean, that is very hard. So I just wouldn't be where I am without them. They do take insurance, which is phenomenal. My husband's insurance, covers or covered what we needed. And, uh, I met some lifelong friends there. And unfortunately, one of my friends, her insurance didn't cover her stay, and
Oh,
they are expensive, but they're just so great and they help you so much. She stayed, but uh, now that it's been a couple years, I still struggle with PTSD and having people touch me before I touch them, or medical offices really scare me,
yeah.
to be honest. But my healing journey has led me to need to do something, and to, like the whole helping people helps you is very true. And there was this woman, I will never forget her. She stood up in the Meadows in one of our seminars and she said that she doesn't believe that her incident happened to her for a reason, but she believes she survived for a reason. And I just think that powerful statement, uh,
Yeah.
really it resonates with me, and I know so many other people. And so I decided to host a festival, and the the purpose of the festival is to ideally sponsor 4 individuals to go to the Meadows, that otherwise couldn't afford it, to get that needed help. And so my board and my goal is to send 2 adolescents, because they take individuals as young as
Okay.
13. And unfortunately, there's children out there that need this. And then also
Yeah.
2 adults. Um, we don't have any other requirements or discrimination besides, they just need to be older than 13, because that's what the meadow requires. And so that's our goal. And then that's about 80% of the proceeds will go to that, from the festival. And then 20% of the proceeds are going to go to another organization that has the same overarching, goal as ours, to help survivors.
Good. Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. So when anybody goes through something as traumatic as what you did, and you know, you're going to go through so many different emotions to get there. But when you can bring light to it and help other people out from it, that's
Yeah.
a true blessing. I'm so sorry you had to go through all that stuff. I mean, it's terrible, but this world, I've heard so many stories, of this happening, and each story is different. But bringing awareness in the form of a festival and helping poor people out. That's amazing. You should be so proud that you're able to do this. So, um,
So
like, when is this festival going to happen? Can you tell us more about what steps you had to take to create this and get it up and running?
it's been quite the process, because I've never hosted a festival before. Um, it's going to be in Glendale, Arizona, May 11th and 12th, of this year, so 2024. And it's just going to be a fun festival. There'll be live music, big yard games, fun things for kids, like a bounce house obstacle course, which is very exciting.
Good.
I know, face painting, and then, um, yeah, going to also have a special event, portion of it that's kind of separate, where we'll have special guests come and give you know, there'll be speakers and there'll be a nice brunch or dinner depending on the time.
Hmm.
So I mean, that'll be great too. And yeah, it's been quite the process to put together. we're always looking for more sponsors if anybody wants to sponsor the
Hey,
festival,
it's for
right?
a good cause.
I know.
So,
There will be resources there,
mhm,
and so that if someone needs help or has questions or just wants to learn more, they'll be there. But it's not going to be all over because we want people to enjoy the festival. We want you to come, and this is a family-friendly event. But if you need the
yeah,
resources, they are available. So
that is so
it's
good.
yeah.
So, how are you promoting, of course, social media? You're promoting your festival. Did you have
Yeah.
to take any like ads out in magazines or newspapers, stuff like that?
So I've been very blessed. That when we've kind of moved towards doing that, we've had individuals who've been willing to donate the space to us since we did just start as a nonprofit in November. So we're very new. Um, and the cause is, it's important to me, but what is unfortunate is 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men, have this experience or some sort of sexual violence experience. And so you probably know, and unfortunately, those people also know someone who has been assaulted. And
Mm-hmm.
so we've just, very thankful and very blessed for the people that have um, offered to help us and
Yeah.
just, bring awareness and, you know, share the Rise Festival. Like you, I really appreciate you that you're,
Oh,
willing to, you know,
thank
showcase
you.
this and, um, talk about it's a difficult, it's a difficult topic, and it's,
Yeah,
it's taken me a while to be able to, talk about it, but there's so many people that have been brave enough to come forward, and so that's also really inspiring. And so
that's good.
I that's what's helped me is that so many people have been able to come forward, and you know, the stigma is not it's not great to have this stigma. So you should just
Yeah, it's very hard.
try if
And
you can. But it is everybody's choice. Nobody should be forced to tell, or go to the police if they don't want to. Like it's just everybody's choice.
everybody's choice whether they want to go and stuff. But I know for me, I want to support your festival in any way I
Oh,
can. And I wish I could be there on the special day in May to help be there and promote. I would do photography for free. So if you just want to fly me,
okay.
so, but definitely. So the awareness for other people that will go through this is, our key goal to help others. And, sometimes people have a hard time breaking through or talking about things that have happened. But this is the safe spot you're providing too, just come. It's an open event. Learn about it. See what you can do. If you are somebody that has been impacted and listening to our show right now, it's hard to take those first steps, but do it for you, the love of you, to help get that healing and everything. So that is important.
It
Journaling, I always tell
is.
everybody
Yeah.
that's important. And I like the mandala books. I would color,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
you know, I loved it. One Christmas, I was like, I just want so many books and new, I call them matte pencils still, matte pencils. And, I wanted to color and I would turn on like either Enya or Robert Miles and just listen. Enigma. That was helping me decompress whatever stresses I had to breathe in, breathe out, and take it away. So, but definitely. Other than that, so I know
Yeah, I mean,
we
the
were
painting
talking
helped me.
to what?
Oh, sorry. The painting really helped me. And what was nice is my first day there, um, the art therapist said, you don't have to do a good job. It doesn't have to look perfect. And that is what has prevented me from being into art,
Yeah,
before that is because I have a tendency to want everything to look perfect. And
yeah,
and giving you that permission really helps open your creativity and helps you really be able to understand yourself. I mean, and then when she would explain what I was, drawing or painting, it was like, yeah, that is actually how I feel. I didn't, it helps you
Yeah.
understand yourself more too.
Exactly, exactly. I know they have painting with a twist down here. I don't know if you guys have it over there, but that was one thing. I remember the first time I ever painted for kind of like a therapy thing.
Hmm.
I did mess up my thing and it was supposed to be like a Van Gogh. And I
Oh,
just decided to make it what I wanted. And then I put my kids' names and a big heart and I love them. But every time I see that painting,
yeah,
it takes me back to that time in my life, and I hold on to those memories. So they're very different
definitely.
and just love it. But yeah, so there's different things, that people can do. What other things have you found that has helped you kind of go through
Navigate
this
this.
process?
Well, I'm still in therapy. And I know that that's a thing that people have trouble, talking about, but for me personally, it's very important. That is what's helped me, set different boundaries, be able to go to things like doctor appointments. Um,
Yeah,
my therapist has helped me live in what she calls uncomfortability, um, which is, I mean, helps me get out of the house. And it's what's what was very unfortunate, well, just horrible actually, was
hmm,
after this, or when this happened, I had a 9-month-old, and it was just so hard for me to hold her because your babies want to grab at you,
yeah,
and that's their right. She's nine
yep,
months old. That's her right. And I just would get flashbacks and I couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle my husband touching me. Um, and then by the end of the Meadows, I was able to um, have be able to hold my baby for longer and could have my husband hug me, which is what I needed. And
yeah,
uh,
definitely.
he has learned different grounding techniques for when I do have flashbacks or nightmares. And I mean, I'm just so blessed for the support system. And then now, he still has those techniques. I have more techniques from therapy. I started equine therapy also, which I
What is that?
highly recommend. So that's
Huh.
therapy with a horse.
Wait,
And
therapy for what?
it's with a horse. It's
Of
you, a
course.
counselor, and a horse. Um, the horse that is my favorite, her name is Violet, and she's
Oh,
phenomenal. And I have trouble with people behind me since the assault. And um, Violet is very playful and she likes to come up behind me and like play and push me forward. And
oh,
that that has helped me with people being behind me. So I mean, I've really appreciated what it's done.
yeah,
I also have done EMDR, uh, which is you use different eye movements or to process your feelings and trauma, and that's been amazingly helpful too. Uh,
good, good.
all of these things I had another baby not too long
Hey,
ago. So that's exciting, but
yeah,
it also caused the same trauma as with my 9-month-old when I had her. They just it's their right, their little baby. They just
yeah,
want to go with mama, and I just couldn't do it. And
yeah,
so that's helped me be able to, hold my baby all the time and be
mm,
able to like connect with her, and because it's heartbreaking
yeah,
to want to connect with your baby, but also when you hold your baby, have a flashback. So
yeah, yeah. That
I'm
makes
very
it a little
grateful.
challenging. So,
Yeah, it made it very challenging. I'm very thankful for my husband and my mom. They were there, for the first couple months after I we had Layla. My husband
yeah,
stayed home. He took, a whole month of paternity leave to or, used
Good.
his
Yeah.
time off so that he could help me and the baby, and he's just such
Mm-hmm.
a great man. And my mom
Good.
was there to help too. She's so wonderful. So I'm just very, very grateful that I have the support system I have, and
Yeah.
that again, like the Meadows taught me boundaries, and then therapy currently helps me with boundaries. And so that helps other people understand what I need because I can finally communicate it in a way that helps others understand.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a good thing. So just from what you're learning and letting other people know, hey, try this technique, it may help you get through this. You know, I I didn't go through anything like what you did, but I
Oh, good.
know I have medical not even, well, he had to cut me really quick. I had sinusitis, but it came from removing an ulcer, so it was my wound. But oh my goodness gracious. The reason I probably got PTSD is because I heard right when I walked into the hospital, there is no time to wait. We need to cut her open. I go, uh-uh,
Yes.
you have to knock me out. No, we don't have time. And I remember they asked my mom, do you want to come in? And she's like, sure. So my mom was holding this hand, and I had two nurses holding this hand. And it was just right in the emergency, one of those rooms. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it
Oh my
hurt
goodness.
so bad.
I
But
bet.
literally, he was saving my life. Um, but what
Yeah.
it caused is I had to stay overnight because my white blood cell count was all over the place and it led into a really bad seizure. And, when the staff, you have to call, I had to go to the bathroom. Okay, they let you out. But I went and shut the door, and I guess
Mhm.
the nurse had left. My ex-husband was there at that time, and he said all he heard was bang.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
fell forward and hit my head against the floor, tile floor. I got a hematoma, but my face, my eye was all bloody and everything.
Oh my
And
God.
all I remember from that seizure getting up was, oh my gosh, my gown. That was the first thing I thought, my gown, why am I like naked? Like, what happened from going to the
Wow.
bathroom to here? I was trying to put the pieces together and then CT, and they were just all in there. But I
Oh my
mean,
goodness.
that's all I remember. And I don't think, even if you went to that doctor, I didn't, but yeah, it caused me PTSD. Now when I go to the
Yeah.
hospital or
I'm so
even
sorry.
any like regular doctor, we need a urine sample. Oh boy, here we go. We're going into or seeing that little red screen box
Yeah.
thing. I was like, I didn't know I was having a seizure. So what good is that?
Mhm.
But I never thought it would turn into a seizure knocking out. And I remember my ex going, you don't want to see your face. And I was like, uh-oh. Like
Yeah.
that scared me too. But seeing my
Yeah.
face and I took a selfie and I just had, oh, it was nasty. I just took a real beating
What
down.
happened?
So, but things in life, we go through, and those
Mhm.
challenges will help us also grow as a person too, and realize, okay, it was a season in time. I hate to say it like that, but it was a season in time. Go back. I would even journal about it too. What were the things that happened that you remember about? How can you heal yourself from those things? It's trying to find the self-love to who we are as a
Yes.
person. So, usually they say you don't want to look too much in the back past. You're here in the now, going into the future, but still, you want to live in today, right now. What can you do right now to make it a good day? And then when we go to bed, go to sleep, it's a new day. I don't know about you, but I remember like going to sleep, I felt a little better each day. So I was like, oh, I really like sleep. I guess your brain has time to like calm itself down and not have too much thought process. But, it's something. as big as that, I know somebody who went through similar, and it's still not gone. It's gonna linger with you. The rest, I hate to say that, but if you're doing something about it like you are, and being able to move forward, or even finding a new hobby, something that can redirect, I would say that, I love that you're doing a festival, you're bringing the awareness, and that is going to be, you're going to hear so many stories. You know what? You can use Life on Record. Have them pick up the phone and leave all these messages
That's
about,
a good idea.
that is a good idea. I would
Yeah.
use that. I mean, only $99. I'll give you their information, but maybe they can do something to also help you out and everything. But I always
Great
say
idea,
it's
yeah.
the voice of what people are feeling and how it's impact them. Get the word out, and that will last. And you can have that little keepsake speaker and listen to what you did to help others people out. So, and then
No, that
also with my
but
show here, I do provide a source that, a phone number that you guys can call in at 833-78 HOPE. Leave us a story and I will pass it on to you. And if you ever want to come back on and answer some questions, we can do that, or individually talk to people. So, I mean, how are people going to find about your festival and location, or how can they get in contact with you?
well, first, I do wanna say that
Yeah.
that idea is really great because one of the biggest things is someone feeling heard, and I don't think it's about, what I did for them, but just so that they can feel heard. It's their
Yeah.
story to tell. And more than likely, I wouldn't, unless someone said they wanted it listened to, just it's so that you can just say your truth. And I appreciate that
Yeah.
you're letting me do that now. Um,
Oh, you're welcome.
so so I think that that would be the biggest benefit is that someone could feel heard or say what they need to say. And because since my person didn't get prosecuted, I didn't get to say what I wanted to say to them. And so even if it's something like that, I think that that's a fantastic idea. I'll definitely contact
Yeah,
them. How they can
definitely.
find out, yeah, how they can find out more about the festival is Survivors Empowered has their
Mhm.
own website, so it's survivorspower.org, and it's
Okay.
plural, so it's survivorspower.org. And
Okay.
then we have a Facebook, which is Survivors Empowered Inc.
Okay.
And then we also have a TikTok, and that's
Yay.
Survivors Power. Yeah, we just started that, so there's like 2 videos on there. There's nothing much.
Oh, I find TikTok is my favorite source of the outside of, but that's just me right now. Like I talk, I'll do the 10 minute, and do a lesson on there too, and I still
Yeah,
think of it, it's like an audio talk, but I also want to be real. Like if I think it was Halloween.
yeah.
They had a Chucky one, and I was like, "What's that?" And my dog's kissing me on my neck, and I'm like, "Oh," I still put it on there because it's the true me. So
Yeah,
I call it my little keep hope alive, where I keep, the sound bites and everything, but there'll be a fun video in there. So if people ever want to watch that, I have
sounds
nothing to
great.
hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but definitely, and I'm gonna add all your stuff. If you have anything you ever wanted to send me to put on Keep Hope Alive's Facebook page to get more awareness out, I definitely
We
want to
do
help
have
you. Yeah.
we do
So,
have an Etsy as well, so
oh,
I can
tell
send
us
that
about that.
too. It's nice. We just started it. There's shirts that, you know, say how you're making a difference when you purchase that shirt. We have really cute mugs. I love our mugs. And
Oh,
we just added yoga pants with our logo and running shirts. And so there's a lot of options. And
yeah.
I mean, it's been really fun to be able to design and add it. And My sister-in-law actually, she is an artist and she designed our logo that's all over it. So,
Oh, that is so cool. That is cool. And I really like your logo. I saw that when
thank
I was
you.
making the podcast cover, and I was like, no, I mean, I want to do it small, but I want to do it big. And just that's a photographer in me. I was like,
Mhm.
I wanted to say power, like read across, because I had a really good feeling about this interview. And I was like,
Yeah,
we are going to spread this awareness together and just bring it out there to the world. So,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, empowerment. I love it. I love it. And, with the social media and the TikToks and, how like people coming to you, is it the best way just to email you or
So on the website, there's a contact, so you can do that. You can donate on the website. If you want to be a volunteer, you can say that. If you want to be a sponsor, and then
yeah,
we'll be opening up scholarship applications in June, so you can also do that
good.
on there. But yeah, sponsors, we're all about if anybody wants to
Yay.
sponsor, we could definitely, use more. And we have our venue has tons of space that we could,
Good.
advertise for you. And
I think you should do every state now. Be in charge of it, but not saying you have to go, but have a team underneath you that will you teach them how to do that festival and then you make your website bigger. It's nationwide and you're
yeah,
helping so many people. So, but definitely if you ever need help with that, I want to help you. So,
so sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely, that is a big goal, but I really love big goals. So we're definitely trying to reach for the stars with this festival, and I feel like we're achieving that. So if
yay,
we can grow like that, that would be phenomenal. We definitely have a 5-year plan. We want to have more of a brick and mortar place, and have set about 20 employees. But yeah,
good.
that's our long term, or I guess not that long,
Yay.
5-year goal, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. So
one to
it's
add
going to
to it.
come. It's going to be great too. I mean, whenever you get started with a new company and stuff, you're kind of at the launching. I call it the launching phase. And what
Yeah.
can you do? What's the best way to market it and get it out there and
Mhm.
everything? But, with the podcast, I never knew it was going to feel like a job. Like it really does. And
Yeah.
I get a lot of people, like I notice I'm doing the scheduling, the updating to the website, getting, who I'm interviewing, learning about them each day. But it's so fun. I was like, I wanted to do this many years ago too and bring
Yeah.
this, before podcasts were around, I didn't really understand podcast, and I remember I said to somebody at karaoke, I have a podcast. And they're like, you mean vlog? And I go, no, I mean podcast. It was like, so they didn't know quite the difference, but they were older than me. And I was like, that is one thing. I mean, blogging. Do you ever write articles or?
I do. I write articles for epilepsydisease.com. I do also have epilepsy, but I've been seizure free with medication for over 10 years now, which is I'm very grateful for. That's actually, yeah, the reason why they thought, I think I said that, yeah, why they thought I had to go back into the x-ray room. So, like, yeah, I epilepsydisease.com is also a phenomenal place. They share all sorts of information. I've learned so much about epilepsy through them. And then there's
Hmm.
other writers on there. So, and they all just do a phenomenal job of explaining their journey. It's not all, it's very first person experiences when you look at the different creators. So that's really great. And then they have doctors that write
Yeah.
articles, forums, and so you just have a community because you just don't always know people that have seizures. Like, I mean, you said you had a seizure, and you just can't
Yeah.
tell by a person most of the time. So it's
I think, people
really-
will see on TV that people just shake convulsively, but there's so many different kind of seizures out there. And I mean, this shaking, it's not as much as a partial seizure, but it's more like going complex or grand mal.
yeah,
And
it's
unfortunately, I've
chronic.
witnessed all three. So,
Oh,
but you know, you just for anybody watching this really quick to go into the world with somebody who has epilepsy. I'll
mhm.
share a really quick story so they kind of sense like I believe it was a complex seizure, and I was working at Macy's at the time, but I have a thing where I call it fight or flight. And I get an aurora that tells me like literally 30 minutes before it's going to happen.
That's great.
And it's good. I won't drive anywhere. I will stay put and wait for it to come. I'm not doing anything until that hits. And then, but when I was at Macy's, it's like slow motion. You see people when it's coming, they're walking slower and it feels like almost like a deja vu.
Oh, okay.
Um, so my thing, if I feel like if it's coming, I know to be safe, but
Mhm.
and now I learned about floors very well. But I remember, I guess I just kind of took off to the women's bathroom because I didn't want anybody to come to me. I didn't know what kind of seizure I was going to have, if it was going to last a few seconds or maybe 5 minutes. I had no idea. But I guess I put myself in the bathroom stall and I fell, but I hit the toilet too.
Oh,
And all of
goodness.
a sudden, and this really does happen, guys. I was outside of my body looking in. I was standing like right here. My body was against the wall, and I had the security guard come back to us, don't die. And the me over here was going, I'm not dead. I'm right here. It was so
Oh.
funny because I could hear myself, but I was looking at myself going,
Mhm.
why does she think I'm dead? And I was like, why am I standing outside of my body? Can I get back in? And over the time of going through that, it felt like I was good out for like a 3 minutes just watching her try to come back, come back. I didn't have an option to go anywhere else. It was just a choice of when I'm going to jump back in my body. And I was the bridal consultant then. So we have to study all the popular brands and everything. And hotel collection's my favorite. But when they got me onto the bed, when they called the paramedics and everything, they put me on a Martha Stewart bed. And like I was just in and out of my body. I saw people standing around me. The paramedics came and got me. And when I got to the hospital, usually hospitals don't do much for you. It's a seizure, wait for it to pass. Um, but I remember I called back work and it's funny because you're out of it. I was like, can I still stay clocked in?
Oh
And
my
why'd you put
goodness.
me on Martha Stewart when you know I like hotel collection? But I mean, I was trying to provide that humor, even it probably wasn't funny for the lady who was trying to save me. But that's a walk into seizure world. And
Yeah.
it can take time, a few days after lapsing. And, I was thinking, watching the news, is this what's happening in the world? Do I really want to be here? It's just that compute. I don't know what they exactly call it, but every seizure is different. Growing up with epilepsy, I want to bring more awareness to it. So
Yes,
I'm happy you
definitely.
did talk about it. And I'm going to post your art. No, if it was for a magazine, I can't post it because that magazine has it and it's their rights, right?
Um, I'm not sure. It's a website. I'm not really sure if they have
Okay.
rights over it or not, to be honest. I
Yeah.
guess I should know that, but I don't
So
know.
yeah, I used to write for a Wedding Wishes magazine and McKinney Living magazine, and I tried to go back and find all those magazines, and I was like, I used to write. Why can't I write a book right now? It's just, it was back in my, I guess, 20s. Yeah. And now I'm hitting 46, and I'm like, "Meh, no, ghostwriter all the way."
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
my podcast is a book.
it's not well, yes, it is. You're and I appreciate what you do.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and yeah, right. I mean, it's difficult because you're talking about your own experiences, but I think
Yep.
doing the articles has helped me be able to talk more about my assault, just because it's
Yep.
similar, you're talking about your personal experiences. But it's wonderful to bring awareness to epilepsy because 1 in 26
Yeah.
people in America are gonna have a seizure of some sort. And they're not,
Yeah.
like you said, all clonic tonic. I I have absence seizures, which is kind of a juvenile seizure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it is a juvenile seizure typically, and so you just space out, and we didn't know I had seizures until I was 16 because I just looked kinda like a defiant child. My parents would tell me to do something, and I would just space out on them, so,
Yeah.
um,
Definitely.
yeah, so
Definitely.
it takes a while depending on what
But
type of seizure you have, to find out, but I am grateful that I am seizure free. I'm very grateful for that because that's something that, some people are medication resistant. And so
mhm.
do you thank God for
Yeah.
that often?
I love it when I'm in like the remission part too, not having seizures because it scares me each time and it's not fun at all. But the one thing I don't think, and it's going to be a hard thing to hear, but we are aware of everything. Even though it may look like we're knocked out, our senses are on overload.
Mm.
So if we can't see, if we can't hear, good, we still know. And I want people to know that too, because I mean, what happened to you? He thought, he could get away with it, but no, no, you can't do that. So it's hard. I know I had to bring that up because, the sensitivity from seizures is
Well,
one. Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify, like mine wasn't a seizure at the time.
Okay, at
That's
the
why they
time.
did it. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
they did it at the x-ray because they thought it might be. But then later I was cleared by a neurologist and they said I didn't have a seizure.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, definitely. So, but I'm just happy that you're able to find good and peace right now to be able to help everybody else out too. So that's a big step. So
Yeah, definitely part of my healing journey is to do this, and everybody's journey is different.
different. Yeah.
For me, I I just know the impact the Meadows made on me, and if they can help me hold my baby and allow me to hug my husband again, like I I want someone else who's struggling with that or some other, problem to be able to do that. So, because it's heartbreaking to have that trauma, to be so afraid, and then to not even, oh, sorry, to not even be able to, hold your baby. So, or yeah. So I just want other people to be able to do that. And so it's not like about me, it's about just just helping them help themselves, like we
Yeah.
that's why we want the festival to be really successful is because since it is an expensive place to go, sending 4 people is kind of an ambitious goal, but I
Yes.
think it's very important because
Yes.
unfortunately there are people as young as 13, and those children deserve to have their life, be able to have a different course
Yeah.
and than adults, like you deserve to have a full life no matter how old you
Mm-hmm.
are or, if you have a disability or whatever the reason was,
Yeah.
it was never their fault ever. And they deserve to find a way or to have someone help them work through it because you're not going to get over it, but you can, I I look at other people that have, that can hug everybody and be out in public and without being anxious, and that's my my way of seeing that there's another side, and I just want other
Yeah,
people to be able to see that there's another side too. And the Meadows helps you figure out how to navigate a little bit better. So,
good, good. I'm glad. I am so glad. I mean, I wish I had everything lined up right now because the Meadows sounds like they need to expand all their facilities now and be in every state, to help people out. So I'm gonna look into that because if we can come up with a list to share with others, that's a good thing. So, oh my gosh. Well, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it was challenging, but look at the positive going forward. And there's hope. You found hope with doing this festival too.
yes.
And that's the awareness that will bring and the stories that will be told and people's journeys. So you are helping many people. So, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I
Oh,
appreciate the sponsors we already have. And yeah, anybody else who wants to be a sponsor, or someone, coming and visiting. It's in Glendale, Arizona. It's called the Rise Festival, and it's May 11th and 12th. And yeah, more information on survivorspower.org, or just
cool.
send us
Yeah,
contact on
definitely.
there.
That is awesome. I love it. I'm like, what hotels are around there? Is there going to be transportation? I know when we do like balloon festivals out here, they use the whole college campus, but nobody likes driving out there. They all want to have that planned route. Where can they park and everything? So,
There will be parking in the location. Yeah. So the location is to be announced. It'll be announced by the end of February at the latest, but um, yeah. So but it's just so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to the team that we're working
yeah,
with.
good, good. Sounds like a great team.
Mhm.
I wish you guys so much of the best throughout the many years, and it will continue to grow and grow and grow. I believe in you. I know
Thank you.
this is going to happen for you guys. So, and
Thank
also, really quick, I got to take another drink of water. Mm. I want to say thank you to our other sponsors for Keep Hope Alive really quick. As I mentioned before, we had lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book, which is amazing. And I want you to look them up too, because I
I
think that would
definitely
be
will. That's a great
one
idea.
little thing. Yeah. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC, and he is very new. His name is Marquise Ogden. He is a retired NFL player for, I think, three different big football teams. So, but right now he's a keynote speaker, bestseller author, and a podcast host. And you can find his information at Marquise. It's MARQUES Ogden, OGDEN.com. Our next one is Bridal Shows Inc.com. If you are in the Dallas Fort Worth area planning a big event, okay, just like you, we're going to get there. I'm going to get there with you on that one. We need it in Dallas. So they have about five different trade shows out of the year. Their next one coming up is at the Dallas Market Hall at the end of January. But you'll meet tons of vendors. They'll provide their information, showcase it, and you can set up appointments with them. So look those up if you want to go to one of her beautiful trade shows. Also, I got to start mentioning like she does have a podcast with me on the show. So you can watch her podcast too, hear her story. Our next one is Miles and Smilesevents.com. Deborah Rose. Her background is she's an investigator, but she does events. She does handwriting analysis and also lipstick readings. She is so accurate. I love this lady because she is so amazing. Like I can go into the event and there's like so much more to do, but she'll get it right each time. And just to see other people's face go through that, I was like, wow, she's the real deal, making it fun for all the events. And she travels. We all go to Arizona, girl. We'll be there for you. So,
I will contact
I'm,
her 100%.
yes.
Lipstick readings, very interesting.
It is so cool. And I am one of those people, there's no way she's going to get it. And I'm like, whoa, like, wow, she did get it. And it's not because she's a nice lady and we're friends. It's like, no, she really got me. And she got the other two workers as we were kind of doing an interview with her. I was like, boy, that is
Amazing.
really good. And she gets good reviews for all her events, which are nice. So, our
I will be
next one,
contacting.
yes, our next one, this guy is amazing. His name is Bryce Harney. It's www.brycemagic.com. He's been on the news and a couple different things, but he does corporate events, even church groups, big seminars. He is magic and mind mentalist, and he's amazing. Check out his website. He's awesome. So our next one is richmondpunch.net. He graduated from the Juilliard. He's a violinist. I've known him for a long time. It feels like more than 25 years, but he's played in front of a million people. He's also had two different spots, I guess, on Lifetime shows or movies where he was playing the violin. So you want to check him out as well. Our last one is TK Hair Salon, located in Plano, Texas. But you're more than welcome to travel to Plano, Texas to get your hair done by one of the best companies out there. So they, from men to women, children, they do the cuts, the styling, the perms, everything. I just tried to get all my grays out. So, but any facial stuff, they do a wonderful job. So check them out as well. Other than that, a big thank you to all those sponsors. And remember, if you have any questions, you can always call 833-780-HOPE, which is 4673. And we'll get any of those questions answered for you. But in the meantime, till our next show's coming up, we have more guest speakers. We're right around the corner from Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be here soon. Guys, I'm an event planner, so this is already getting planned out. So, but other than that, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
on the
for having me.
show. I'm going to put stuff on the Facebook page to get the word out there. If you have the group or page yourself, I want to put that on there as well. So,
You.
but thank you guys. Until our next show, love and light. Everybody have a great week.